Have you ever stopped to think about how much energy we use every single day? It's a lot. We use energy to light up our homes, to power the phones in our pockets, to travel all over our amazing planet. From the moment you wake up and flip a switch to the time you go to bed, electricity and power are working all around you. This energy lets us do incredible things, exploring the deepest oceans, sending messages across the globe in an instant. Our whole world runs on energy. It's the invisible force that makes modern life possible, and we are always looking for more of it. Think about it. Our human family is growing. More people need more houses, more food, more schools. All of those things require more energy. Plus, we have big dreams. Build bigger cities, create faster computers, maybe even travel to other planets like Mars. So, how could we possibly capture all of the sun's energy? We would need to build something around it. This is the core idea behind a concept called the Dyson Sphere. Not a solid bowling ball-like shell. That would be unstable. Instead, imagine a huge cloud of many individual objects, satellites, habitats, all orbiting the sun in a dense, thick swarm. They'd form a shell around the star, working together to catch almost every ray of light and heat before it escapes into deep space, the ultimate solar collecting system. Freeman Dyson popularized the idea in 1960. He wasn't proposing a construction plan, he was thinking about aliens. A very advanced civilization would need power straight from its star, so we could search for intelligent life by looking for these structures. If a star seemed to dim or flicker strangely, it might be a Dyson sphere being built. Each piece of the swarm is like a massive solar panel. It absorbs the sun's radiation and converts it to usable energy. Building something as enormous as a Dyson sphere presents some of the biggest engineering challenges we can possibly imagine. First off, where would we get all the materials? A structure that encloses the sun would require an unbelievable amount of mass. We couldn't just launch it all from Earth. There simply isn't enough stuff here. The most likely solution would be to take apart an entire planet. That's right. We might have to mine a planet like Mercury, which is very rich in metals and conveniently close to the sun. We could use automated robots to disassemble it piece by piece and use those raw materials to build the swarm. The construction process itself would have to be almost completely automated. We would need a fleet of self-replicating robots, machines that could mine asteroids and planetary material, refine it into usable parts, and then build more robots just like themselves. This army of builders could grow exponentially, starting with a few machines multiplying into millions. So, what if we did it? What if we actually built a Dyson sphere and had access to nearly infinite clean energy? Life as we know it would change. Scarcity around energy could disappear. Electricity could become so abundant it might even be free. That would reshape the global economy and daily life. Imagine never worrying about an electricity bill again, with power as available as the air we breathe. A true paradigm shift. When we look at the sheer, mind-bending scale of a project like the Dyson Sphere, it's easy to feel like it's pure fantasy. Right now, in the year 2025, we are closer to the invention of the stone axe than we are to building something on this scale. The technological hurdles are simply colossal. The material hurdles are simply colossal. The economic hurdles are simply colossal. We would have to become a true spacefaring species first, capable of mining asteroids and building large habitats in orbit with ease. This is the work not of years or decades, but of centuries or even millennia. It's a project for our distant descendants. However, every great human achievement started as an impossible dream. People once thought that flying was impossible. People thought going to the moon was a fantasy, and people thought carrying a supercomputer in your pocket was absurd. Science and engineering have a way of turning fiction into fact. The Dyson Sphere is what scientists call a thought experiment, an idea. What if we could capture all the energy from the sun? Not just the tiny little bit that happens to hit Earth, but every single bit of light and heat that radiates out in all directions. The sun is a gigantic fusion reactor, constantly blasting out more energy in a single second than humanity has used in its entire history. If we could somehow collect all of that power, it would change everything. It would be the ultimate solution to our energy needs, unlocking a future we can currently only dream about. This is where a truly mind-blowing idea comes into play. A megastructure so big, it would dwarf anything humans have ever built. That energy could be stored, used by the satellite itself, or beamed wirelessly, back here on Earth, or to colonies on other planets. Nearly 100% of the sun's power could be harnessed. Solar power taken to an extreme, astronomical scale. Think of building a city in space. Instead of houses and streets, trillions of power-collecting robots. They fly in tight formation, forming a coordinated net around the sun. From afar, the swarm looks solid, making the star much dimmer, or even disappear in visible light. But all that energy has to go somewhere, heating the structure and radiating away as waste heat. Astronomers would look for stars glowing in infrared light, the telltale signature of an artificial megastructure. Then there's the problem of gravity and orbits. Each individual satellite in the swarm would need to be in a stable orbit around the sun. With trillions of objects flying around, the risk of collisions would be immense. We would need an incredibly advanced computer system to manage the orbital traffic, making tiny adjustments to each satellite to keep them all perfectly spaced and moving in harmony. This cosmic ballet would have to be flawless, because a single error could set off a chain reaction of collisions that could destroy large sections of the sphere. It's a traffic control problem on a mind-boggling scale, far beyond anything we handle today. Finally, we need to consider the technology required to make it all work. The materials used would have to withstand the sun's intense radiation and heat for thousands of years without degrading. The solar collectors would need to be super efficient. The system for beaming power across millions of kilometers of space would have to be reliable and safe. We don't have these technologies yet. We are still in the very early stages of understanding how to build and operate large structures in space. A Dyson Sphere is a goal for a civilization far more advanced than ours is today, but it gives us a fascinating look at what might be possible. The Dyson Sphere is what scientists call a thought experiment. An idea, one that helps us explore the limits of what is possible. It forces us to think big and to consider the long-term future of humanity. It serves as a benchmark for what a truly advanced civilization might be capable of. The journey towards such a future would be just as important as the destination. In trying to solve the problems of building a Dyson Sphere, we would invent countless new technologies along the way. We would develop better robotics. We would discover new materials, and we would create more efficient ways to generate and transmit energy. These smaller innovations would have huge benefits for us right here on Earth, long before the first piece of the sphere is ever put in place. The quest itself would drive progress, pushing us to become smarter, more capable, and more collaborative as a species. So, while we may not be drafting blueprints for a Dyson Sphere tomorrow, the idea itself is incredibly valuable. It's a source of inspiration, a symbol of ultimate ambition that encourages us to look up at the stars and wonder, what if? It reminds us that the universe is full of incredible resources and that the potential for our species is truly limitless if we can learn to work together and dream on a grand enough scale. We are a young species on a small planet, but our minds can reach for the stars. Could we, one day, truly build something this big and become masters of our own solar system? The Dyson Sphere wouldn't just power civilization, it would power our dreams. If you learned something new, hit like and subscribe.